So, who would you say were your biggest musical inspirations?
Well, it changes all the time. My biggest inspirations would be lately. Um, I do a bunch of throwbacks too. Like I keep going back to Bruce Springsteen. He is a master. But I get influenced in different ways, like Willie Nelson, and um, I really like Brothers Osborne. I think they're really killing it. I think they're great. So I would say those are good examples. Mellencamp. I feel like my brand of country music is kind of heartland country and a bit of a throwback to like 84, 85, even some 90s stuff. And I just try to keep it as authentic and honest as I can. And I keep challenging myself. Okay, how honest can I be here? Am I telling the story that it's relatable? And that's what I think. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So, did you always know that music was the path you wanted to take?
Yeah, and sometimes I wish it wasn't, to be honest with you, because it's a really hard road. There's a lot of competition, and especially the past 5, 10 years, where you really have to become understand business more, social media more, and there's always something new to learn. There's always new challenges with that. And there's always it's like I just want to create music. I'm not really that interested in making silly TikTok videos all the time. Like I want to get out there and play music and connect with people. And yes, social media is a way to connect for sure. But 17 seconds is not the same as 5, 10, 20 minutes when you're say at a merch table or at a show and you're talking with somebody and you're really connecting with them and learning about them. You know what I mean?
So, in what part of the industry would you say was the hardest for you to embrace?
I would say definitely the new social. I shouldn't say it's new, but
TikTok?
my manager's been really pushing me. So you have to get on TikTok. So I've been on TikTok, and I'm a creative person, so I can get into it a little bit here and there. But it also kind of takes away from my other creativity, which is writing music and performing music. So I would say that for sure.
So, when you first realized that music was something you wanted to pursue seriously, what was
Mhm.
your first step towards making a career out of it?
It was really baby steps. My father and my uncle played music, but I didn't grow up with them. My mom saw some talent in me, so she just kind of pushed what she could at a very young age. I was doing like plays and singing in malls and stuff, 11, 12 years old when I grew up in Alaska. I was born in Oklahoma, grew up in Alaska and Massachusetts. So, and then I just started getting paid for it at a young age here and there. And then I kind of rebelled a little in my teen years and I was doing like rock music and I would even get into some big band music. I was singing everywhere. I was just constantly singing places. And but I wasn't in a hot spot, and my life wasn't very consistent. I had a lot of disruptions and some tough times. So when I thought I was done with music, kind of ish, I decided, well, I haven't done country music, and my father and my uncle played for many years, touring with some big acts, and Reba McEntire recorded one of my uncle's songs, and so I really wanted to get as I got older, connected more with my roots and my family, and so I started playing country music about 8 years ago. I wasn't really into a lot of the stuff, but I was really into outlaw country music. So I started an outlaw country band, and then it was all classic stuff. And and based in New England now, so we didn't get a lot of gigs playing classic, but I was writing and I was like finding my voice, and I felt really good about it. And then all of a sudden, um, my booking agent was like, "Hey, if you play some modern songs, I can get you more gigs." I was like, okay, because I wasn't into it. Like it just seemed very corporate and poppy, and that wasn't really my style.
Yeah.
At least I don't know. There were some things that weren't working for me, but the more I dug, the more I found. I was like, oh, I dig this. I dig some Dirk Bentley stuff. I dig, Brothers Osborne. I dig John Party. This was like, there's a ton of artists I like. And then I started performing. We got a ton of gigs, and we started opening up for national acts. This was about 8 years ago. And then I've just been, three albums later and a bunch of singles. We're just still pushing and writing and trying to improve. Uh, and I'm very lucky to be able to do this. But it's not something, you can choose things, but it's going to be gnawing at you if you do something that's not
Authentic.
you. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I music is just, and believe me, it gets really hard, and a lot of artists I'm sure can relate. Where you're like, man, like, and there's so many of us now. There's people are blowing up on TikTok for the silliest things, and it's like, are they really a country star? No, they've got some talent, they've got some popularity, and that's really what the record companies and business people care about is uh, selling things, and
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Totally
I
makes
mean,
sense.
like there's people who've been slaving away for 12 years trying to get a big break, and then someone's singing on the floor in their bathroom on TikTok and they get a record deal. It's kind of
It is
crazy.
what it is,
Yeah.
and it's like the what I've learned over the years is that if I use my energy to be upset about it or to hate or to whatever, that takes away from
Creativity.
me trying to enjoy my life or to do what I want to do, which is bring positivity and uh, and entertain people. And I think if I start hating on people or getting too political or getting religious, too religious, it's like I don't want to do all that. I just want to connect with people. It's like we're all human beings. Let's connect on that level. We all have family. There's things that we all have. Let's relate on those levels and try to make the world a better place.
So you have a song coming next Friday, I believe. Could you tell us the story
Two,
behind?
actually, yes.
Could you tell us the story behind
Yep.
these songs and how they all came together?
Sure. So this past year, I've actually had some time on my hands, so I've been writing like crazy. I've written more than I've ever written, and I've been writing with some really great writers and stuff. So the song "Without You, Honey" is one of the songs I'll be releasing. I recorded that down in Nashville in December 2019 with a few other songs, and so we've been holding on to that. And that's not really like I don't know how radio like we've decided not to push it to radio, but we definitely want to release it. Um, so I'm releasing that one, and that song is basically a story. "Without You, Honey" is basically a story of I would say my first, you know, deep love, and it was just kind of an unhealthy relationship. I'm sure people can relate with that, and it was a little wild and crazy, and but when it was done, it was still there was an empty place. So the song is basically, "Without you, honey," and that feeling of that, like I don't know how I'm gonna go on, and like it's an intense feeling. So that's kind of what that's about, and the song "Small Town Way." I wrote that with Brandon Ray, and we wrote remote, and then I actually recorded the vocals remote. My little, I'm not, I've got like a very minimal setup here, but I was able to pull off some vocals, which I'm going to do for a couple other songs coming up as well that we're working on. And that song is basically about a small town, and what I like about small towns, the positive. There's negative and positive in everything, the way I look at it. But I really try to focus on the positive. Like the pandemic has been a thorn in everybody's side. It's been awful, horrific in many cases. I do the best I can, just like everybody else, and I try to focus on the positive. And for me, I just kind of, hunkered down in my man cave here and did some writing, and I did a lot of biking and a lot of outdoor stuff over the summer, and so I try to stay on the positive side. And Small Town Way is really focused on that, the positive of a small town. It's the kindness. I think I used to live in New York City as well, and you know,
That ain't a small
people
town.
are, people are too busy to be caring about you.
Yeah.
Though if you ask for directions, I mean nowadays you got GPS and stuff, but if you ask for directions, there's like, is there a blah 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 around? You get three people that'll stop and help you. So there is kindness there too. But the idea around Small Town Way is, you're welcome here. You've got Bob over at the bank, and you've got Caroline at the diner, and it's a nice place here, and we all know each other, and uh, we try to be good to each other, and you're welcome to come and enjoy that.
So you mentioned more songs coming after these two. Or is this going to be the part of a bigger project, or are they all going to be singles?
I think they're all going to be singles. I, I can't mentally or business wise think of like an album making sense because you make an album. Let's say you release a single to radio, um, and then the rest of the songs are kind of forgot about
Yeah.
as an independent artist, especially. So it's like I'm trying to get each song their attention. Like I'm spending a lot of money, and as artists, independent artists, there's not a lot, especially without working right now. So I'm like, I want to give the songs as much attention, writing wise, make them the best I can, recording wise, same thing, and then just put them out and let it have its day.
Yeah.
You know,
You have to use your resources in a way that makes the most sense at the end of the day.
right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.